promising.
I'm poor.
We're poor.
We're poor.
We're very poor.
We're quite poor.
So I might be nipping a bit. Okay. Today on this episode of Line,
Because dust is...
All right, so fuck you. I am the Lorax. Littering is cringe. Right. You're just making a lot of noise, Micro. Micro, you're ruining my thing, Micro. Micro, what's wrong with you, Micro? Yeah, I'm retarded. No, you messed it up more. Here. I could just go deaf.
Turn off your mic, dipshit.
Just give me a sec. Line, please. My apologies, friends. It's very wimby.
Fucking windy! Micro, fuck off for a second.
Fuck you, wind. Like my vein. Ah! Oh, fuck. Fuck. Ah, you fucking cunt. Fuck. God, fuck.
Oh, shit.
Give me a resting face that you're gonna normally rest with. All right, there we are. Hello, my name is Huck, and this is my friend Micro.
Hello.
Penis. We're talking about chest rigs and different types of kit that we've both gone through and we use ourselves. Stuff we would just recommend if you don't have a lot of money.
I'm poor.
We're poor.
We're poor.
We're very poor.
We're quite poor.
Even what we're currently using is probably going to be upgraded upon. This is what's working for us now.
Yeah.
This is where we are in the stage of our training, and it's what's worked for us, and we're just trying to give you guys a couple helpful tips of what's worked for us. As of right now, you know, hell, you might be farther than we are in certain places.
We didn't just start off with the most fancy stuff. We slowly worked up towards it. As you can see, he's pretty well kitted out with the chest rig. I'm decently well kitted out with a plate carrier and a belt.
Hi, I'm not poor, but I'm going to be talking about when I was poor and whatnot.
Wait, you were poor?
Letting you guys know. Yeah, I was.
What?
Wow.
Well, no, I would still say I'm poor. I'm just better at being poor than you are.
I think he's doing a good job.
No, he's doing a great job. I'm just saying
that looks nice. A lot better than mine, and I'm less poor. Look at chest rigs. Hi, this is my chest rig. As you see, I use a lot of surplus gear, hand-me-downs. Start right to left. Here's kind of a bigger admin pouch. In here, I usually keep my gear like compass, land nav tools, stuff like that. Notebook, pens and pencils. There's a lot of wind. This is the ODGG.
It's fucking windy.
Very windy. This is the ODGG land nav starter kit.
Shut up and take my money!
That's what I started with. Compass, protractor, notepad, pen, ranger beads. And as you see, I keep my ranger beads right here on the admin pouch, right here, easily accessible. Also comes with a nice little whistle. It did have a compass, but I beat the fuck out of it, so it doesn't exist anymore.
Bonk.
Okay, moving on. I got 2 grenade pouches right here. They totally don't have grenades in it. One's just got, you know, extra light. Having a light that's exterior from your weapon is good. Weapon light is crucial, but having more than just a weapon light so you don't have to aim your rifle at whatever you want to illuminate, because just extra flashlight's never bad to have. Also has red light. Red light's also very important too. We'll go into that in another topic on another day. This grenade pouch is just empty. I'm in between like switching stuff out, you know, between different FTXs, training days. Depending on what we're doing, I set this up differently.
You what?
Differently. I have a lot of different pouches that sometimes I'm like, for this exercise, I'm gonna need more magazines. Add more mags. Or I need this piece of kit. I add more of that. So it just really depends. And then over here is some random radio pouch with handy dandy TYT radio. Wonderful. Of course, you probably noticed, got 7 mags here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
10 rounders.
Sure. Totally. Yeah, so having plenty of ammunition is great. Starting here at the dangler here, this is a medical dangler. Chest rig itself was a Minuteman, I believe. That was the one you were selling at one point. The ODG website. Yeah. It was over a year ago when these were sold on the website, so good luck finding them. Top pouch here is more essentials, TQ, lots of gauze, I have compression bandages, lots of chest seals, plenty of stuff, all your trauma gear right there. And I usually keep another TQ right here, but it's not on there right now. It's actually on my butt. So, next here, asthma inhaler, because, you know, that's kind of something some of us need. Other things like Zit Fizz, a little bit of energy. These are actually kind of like a multivitamin too, so, you know, lots of vitamin C. It's gonna help you.
And we sell them.
Yes, they are sold on the ODGG website. They are very great. I use these a lot as pre-workout, as an energy drink, as a supplement. Very great to have. And then I have some honey sticks that my girlfriend gave me because she's awesome. Appreciate the people around you because they will help you. All right, that's all about it. But yeah, like I said, actually, hand warmer as well, wool lined. It has, that's actually a foot hand warmer, but it's still a hand warmer. Has a pocket in there. It's real nice when it's cold like this. You know, you've seen a lot of like football players. When I played football as a kid, everyone would have those warm hand warmers. It's just a great thing to have, for sure.
On to me. So, rifle's kind of in the way. We'll get rid of that. So, I have built this thing out to suit my needs pretty well. I have a lot of space that isn't being used because you never know when you have to add something to it. So you don't want to have it, you know, entirely packed up. I have, from going right to left, I've got myself a just general purpose bag over here. I use it for batteries mostly. Just extra batteries for whatever you need. Spare Baofeng battery, or that's compass. Spare Baofeng battery, compass. I'm kind of building this out as just a general administration pouch for more technical things. I'm looking at you, camera. Right here is a Vortex Impact 1000. Nice little rangefinder. Definitely a good thing to have in your kit no matter what you're doing. And little shitty proprietary pouch. Works fine. Fucking beautiful. Right here in the center is another just general administration pouch. I keep the general admin things in here, like a protractor. I have foamy earbuds in here, fucking chapstick, all of the good general stuff you might need. Emergency blanket, very helpful if in case you know if it's cold. Cold things are certainly cold. Electrical tape. Electrical tape. Tape your fucking muzzles, or you'll trip. Rifle goes in the mud. Try to shoot it, blows up in your face. Kinda gay. Another thing I got going on here, it's all kind of just dumped in here because why not, is face paint. Another very useful thing to have on hand. This is black on one side and green on the other. Nice and compact, fits in here pretty well. Wish it held together a bit better. And multi-tool, always useful. Most important thing, the very most important thing you could ever have in any piece of kit, a kazoo. ADHD breakover. Ah, fuck, piece of shit. Over here, Baofeng. UV5R, painted up myself, fancy little shit. Got an extended antenna on there, because why not? And a Kydex pouch. The thing that I like about this over his pouch is the fact that since it's hard case, you're not going to accidentally ND the button. So you're not going to be hot miking or anything like that. Always nice to have. This right here, I keep the earpiece for said Baofeng in here. I don't want to pull it out because it's all tangly and shit. And finally over here is my snack pouch. Gummy sharks are a performance enhancing drug. I just keep snags, whatever I want, little multi-tool spoon stuff, and water purification tablets, also really helpful. Having snacks on hand is always something good, you know? And The reason that I have the snack pouch on this side is because it is less essential than over here. So if I need to get out of battery, something important, then it's much easier for me to grab over here with my non-dominant hand. While snacks, important, but they don't have to be quick access all the time. So over here in the less accessible areas. The more important things should be easier to get at.
There is a significant amount of controversy over micro chest rigs, and I understand the negative part of micro chest rigs. I understand the downfall of them. However, the vast majority of stuff that we train, the vast majority of things that we're doing, you're not going to see us in plate carriers, and usually we're going pretty fast. So I really like the micro chest rig. I can operate out of the micro chest rig. With this, I have 3 30-round mags. Yeah, I don't give a shit. 20-round mag, a pistol mag. That's if I'm running a handgun. If I'm not running a handgun, which a lot of the times I'm not, then I'll just take this out. So I keep 1 multi-tool and a rangefinder here. I keep a pocket of mini chems right here. This is specifically for marking. And to plug my own shit, we sell these pouches and the...
Nice.
I use them a lot. I like organization. So, moving on. Gerber Strong Arm. This is, hands down, one of the best knives I have used to date. I don't know the exact steel rating, and I'm going to be real with you. I don't give a shit. This works. I have made a lot of fires. I've cut a lot of wood, literally off of just putting this on top of a log and smashing it with a rock. It works. The wing attachment right here, we're going to be selling these soon. I've been testing this out. We'll be selling these. I have the wing attachment for the TQ that holds a extra map marker. We already sell these.
Shut up and take my money.
The hand warmers, as Huck said, are very, very important, especially if you're in somewhere like the Pacific Northwest, where it is cold as balls the majority of the time. Wool-lined hand warmers are amazing. What's awesome is we actually figured out a way to be dropping the price on these here soon. Really excited about that. And then I have my medical dangler. Also, I keep 1 tourniquet in here. And then 2 tourniquets exposed. You have to understand that also if you have your tourniquets exposed, this means that they're exposed to the elements, and over time they're going to break down. They're going to become a lot less useful. So if you have your tourniquets exposed, understand that you should be rotating those out dependent on how much you're actually using your chest rig. If you're not actually getting out in the hills, you're not training all that much, then it can probably sit there and it's fine. If you're out in the mud and you're, doing low crawling and you're going from tree to tree and you're bounding and you're smacking into things, these tourniquets are going to get beat up over time. Also, Ranger beads, we sell these as well, very important.
Nice.
For land navigation. This is not the only ammunition that I have on me. When I go out in the mountains, I will have either a bandolier, and even before I was selling them, I would keep a bandolier of 6 magazines just organized in my pack, ready to go. So I have those 6 magazines plus this. Sometimes I'll even have magazines on pouches attached to the outside of my rifle or outside of my pack. Can grab those really accessibly. A lot of people freak out that, oh, if the magazines aren't within exactly your reach, how are you ever going to get to them? It's like, stop and take off your pack. Or have one of your buddies grab spare ammo. Anyway. So next I'm going to be going into another option if you don't want to do a traditional chest rig. Load bearing equipment, or LBEs. These are also very similar to the Schmersh, which a lot of AK guys just lose their minds over. So I really like the LBEs in comparison to traditional chest rigs because just like bandoliers, I can just throw this over. I don't have to have someone like, Dad, can you please help me buckle my straps? A lot of chest rigs that are on the market, I don't like that issue, that to properly get it on, it takes a lot of time. Just like the one that Micro is wearing, for us to actually get this on, right? I gotta sit there and I gotta, okay, are your straps right? Is this buckled in correctly? Is this all twisted up? Because once you start throwing on a pack and once you start doing distance, this being twisted and you having a pack on, oh, that's gonna get old fast.
And as far as most things in the firearm community, this does kind of just come down to semantics and nitpicking. But if you have the ability to nitpick, then do it. If you have the ability to streamline everything to the way that you want it to be exactly, then do it. Like, not the biggest deal, you can get around it, but this is certainly nicer how you can just throw it on. Plus, you get that drippy nom look to it.
The drip is just
Vietnam,
insane.
motherfucker, Vietnam.
So how I run my LBs, and this might be, mission dependent or person to person, personal preference. But I'll keep my admin pouch right here. This has all my land navigation stuff. This has my chem lights and my headlamp. Right here, I'll usually keep a canteen with all my water and whatnot. And then usually I'll keep all of my ammo on my left side. If I have this much space to, disperse weight, I can have my water over here and all my ammo over here. I'm right-handed and I'm correctly handed. I'm shooting, right? I'm not really gonna want to get over here as much. I would rather all my ammunition be on this side. You don't have to do that, but a personal preference. And then I also keep another admin pouch right here. This has a spool of wire in it. Don't worry about that. And then I have a grenade pouch. This is pretty basic setup. I've taken off a few things of this and put it on other things, but I do like LBs. If you want to find one, if you want to look online, you can find these for seriously $50. And if you go into a disgusting camo like ACU, I like that these have internal pockets as well. But yeah, LBs are cool. If you are a hardcore baller on a budget, I really like LBs. Also, that being said, with my chest rig, the way I have it set up, that is not how I first had it set up. Right? It took years of just buying little bits and pieces and slowly piecing this together. Micro, get over here. So Micro said this in the past. Huck even said it with his chest rig, right? Of hand-me-downs, right? A lot of these pouches he didn't have on here when he first started.
To explain, I bought these two secondhand off one of my buddies. This pouch over here and this one right here were straight off of Airsoft. These two are off of Amazon. Everything here is pretty cheap.
If other people are running it, if you've seen gear being used and tested and it seems like it, withstands time, then yeah, try out things, see what works and what doesn't.
Now, time for a cowboy ADHD break. Yeah, same with me when I first started. I did not have that chest rig. I had a Condor. It's like a $20-$30 chest rig, airsoft Condor, right? It worked. I've done classes with it. I used that in a rifle and with a O-light on it. It worked. Yeah. So I didn't start with this chest rig. Like I said, airsoft. That's what I had at first. Just a cheap Condor. They work. Do they work the best? Not really. But as far as just getting into something that you can start training with, airsoft gear is very great. So you always want to eventually, upgrade, get higher quality gear. But if you start with airsoft, start with something cheap, you could find out what you like and find out what works, and then buy the real deal after you find out, hey, this setup or this configuration, I like it, it works. I went to a, just a simple Rifle 1 class. You're able to go through mags and everything, able to go prone even, works good for you, test it out. So the most important thing is just finding what works for you and your situation. Because as you can see, we all work together mainly when we're doing anything out in the mountains, doing anything tactical. We're all a team. And even just from his gear to my gear, you see a lot of differences. So that's just something to consider. Everyone's needs, every team's needs are different. It just depends on what you're doing and how you plan to accomplish that.
Another thing about it, not specifically about chest rigs, but about gear in general, is that if you have friends who've been doing this a lot longer than you have, they have a lot of surplus gear, you can buy it off them. You don't even necessarily have to use money. I bought this chest rig with a 120 round fucking battle pack of green tips. Bartering is a thing. Take shit that you don't need as much and trade it.
Yeah. If
Fucking works.
if all you've ever been doing is stockpiling ammunition, you don't have actual gear. Yeah, you can go to your buddy, say, hey, I'll trade you this amount of ammunition for that piece of gear. They'll probably say yes for the right amount of ammunition. So yeah, I guess that's all we got for chest rigs. We're moving on to Bandoliers.
Believe so.
Sweet.
Hi, Alex. You get to edit this out.
This is being filmed. Patrons, you're seeing this.
Patrons, you're seeing that.
I'm out of frame.
Ah.
What? Yeah, I'm out of
Patrons,
frame, but
you're
like,
not seeing that.
All right, so we're gonna go into bandoliers, the importance of bandoliers. Do you have your old school one too?
No, I don't have one.
Yeah, you do.
Since when?
It's literally right there.
Old
Is that a belt or a bandolier?
Oh, yeah, no, I have the belt.
I thought it was a bandolier.
We could pretend it's a bandolier.
It doesn't matter. Okay, so we're gonna be going into bandoliers, where bandoliers have a place and where they don't. So this is the bandolier that we sell. This is the Bandolier.
Shut up and take my money.
This one is actually the 1.5. This one is the 1.0. Soon we'll be dropping the 2.0, which will actually also be able to be worn as a chest rig, but I'm not going to get into that too much. One cool thing about this versus a traditional bandolier, the Army issues, is this one actually has a Velcro backer. So you can add a hand warmer, you can add a medical dangler, you can add wings, what have you. What's really cool about the 1.5 going to the 2.0 is that we actually have a map pouch so you can keep important things on you while you're out training, LARPing, doing what you do. But not just this product. The coolest thing that I personally think about the bandolier is that I can do this.
You what?
And now I'm ready to fight.
So on the topic of belts, cartridge belts, bandoliers, I did go over this earlier, but they've been used throughout history for a long time. Cowboys use them. A lot of people use them. So I'm just gonna demonstrate real quick with this ADHD break here. My ear pro just fell out. That's probably not a good thing. Give me 1 second. Okay. Ah, you fucking cunt. I could just go deaf. Oh my goodness. The Minuteman concept.
The Minuteman concept.
What a thing.
Of just being able to throw something over your shoulder, grab rifle, and go.
Go in the woods.
Go in a woods. Or if I were to have this inside a pack, like I referenced earlier, I can just open up the pack, grab that, sling it. Now I have more ammunition that is organized and ready to go. Now, that being said, for all intents and purposes, this can do what this does for a hell of a lot cheaper. So if you are a baller on a budget and you just want to have something that's organized, maybe you have a backpack, maybe you have a JanSport, you know, you're like, let's say you're really balling, right? You're eating top ramen every other fucking night. This is probably going to be the best route to go for a little while, just to give you something, because this is $25, $30. This is inexpensive. Anyone can grab one of these and you have 6 magazines that's ready to go. But if you want to be a little bit more sustained, right, this is that next upgrade. Now, I've been wearing this and only this for the past 4 months now. I haven't been rocking any chest rigs or anything like that. I did a 20-mile ruck march with just this. We did our last snowing shoeing event. All I had was this. I will say that bandoliers in the long run, if you have a pack on, you are going to start feel a little bit more tension on your shoulder. But overall, it was absolutely doable. If you're putting distance though, if you're planning on training for distance, doing reconnaissance, doing infantryman type stuff, being a Minuteman, I would recommend going a more chest rig route over a bandolier. It's going to be a lot easier to operate out of for a longer operation. But for quicker things, a bandolier has a lot of abilities that a chest rig doesn't. Like, if I actually adjusted this, one really cool thing with a bandolier as opposed to a chest rig is, let's say I'm fighting, right? And I have everything right here and I want to go prone. Well, as opposed to a chest rig, as opposed to a plate carrier, I can do this and go prone, and now I'm that much closer to the ground.
Difficult to go prone. It's a lot of
So
upfront.
another thing when you're setting up a plate carrier, when you're setting up a chest rig, make sure that you can actually properly go prone. Make sure that you don't have so much stuff on the front of your rig that's going out that you actually can't get low to the ground. And that's not just like bandoliers specific or chest rig specific. That is all equipment. Make sure that you can actually move in your equipment. You know, dry fire. Dry firing isn't just guns. It's not just getting better and more proficient at weapon manipulation, but also understanding your own equipment, right? So dry firing out of every single pocket. Huck and I used to do that just watching movies, and we just
dry fire, go from every position. We would do it, you know, standing, kneeling, and prone, just in the living room watching, what was it, Planet of the Apes or something?
I think we were watching Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, it's like every time we saw a human, we had to give suppressive fire, cover fire for our ape friends.
Oh God, human!
Yeah, essentially. Make it fun.
Yeah, no, just make it interesting.
Yes.
Right. Also have a satchel. So this is the Claymore bag. We sell these as well. These are really awesome for what they are. And you have an entire Velcro panel, so you can do the same thing with the bandolier, except for the one advantage is you have one large open pouch, and you can do a lot of things with this. There's also quite a few accessories that we're going to be selling as well that you can put on here. Both sides are lined with Tigris. Our last FTX, I actually used this as a camera bag. And I kept my camera in here, all my batteries and whatnot, and it was very well protected. That is one cool thing about having some sort of bag that has a little bit more rigidity as opposed to something like this, is you could actually protect more valuable equipment. So a satchel like this has its place. Every single piece of kit has its place. And I realize a lot of people want one piece of equipment that does everything. It doesn't exist. There isn't one. You are not going to find one piece of kit that does everything perfectly.
Yeah.
You should have multiple setups, right? You should have an urban loadout, right? So a plate carrier and a belt. You should have a Minuteman loadout, so a bandolier. You should have a mountaineering loadout, so a chest rig. And then you could have a night vision loadout. You could have a gray man loadout. You know, there's a lot of options, and they all do different things.
Yeah, and a lot of those too, they could supplement each other. Like you're saying, like night vision, right? Like if you have a night vision loadout, that might go with your mountaineering loadout. That might go with your, you know, urban loadout. Even the Minuteman stuff. If you live on a large piece of property and you need to scan your backyard because you heard something weird going on, night vision would be kind of cool to have. Grab your night vision in a bandolier and you could go investigate something on your property. Another thing I want to add too, though, with these Claymore bags, these are a great option for larger magazines such as D60s. So if you didn't have, you know, all these accessories in here, you just had the bag, you can put D60s in here. So you could wear that kind of like the bandolier. And if you wanted to have your D60s on you, that's a great option. I think you would fit, what, 3 of them?
I think we got 4 in
We
here.
haven't done a lot of testing, but once I get my hands on one of these Claymore bags, we'll do a lot more stuff, a lot more shorts.
I mean, so what
demonstrations
you
with
could
them.
do also is you could have a machine gunner roll
Yes.
that has
Heavy
two
gunner,
yeah,
support gunner.
So 2 Claymore bags.
Yep.
just filled with D60s. So the reason that we say D60s as opposed to, you know, belt feds is that, let's be real, D60s are way easier to resource.
Oh yeah.
That being said, I realize it's not the topic of this video. Beta mags are shit. Don't use them. Don't waste your money.
Yeah.
Because they're like, what, $300 now?
Oh yeah, and the D60s are like, what, $130?
Yeah, so
like that.
Magpul D60, it holds 60 rounds, and they work.
They work
Like
phenomenally.
just straight up, they
Oh,
work.
yes.
And the beta mags are, God, I'm fucking upset I wasted that money on that.
Yeah, but
I realize it's, you know, it's in the past,
Yeah.
but like still, it didn't even, I couldn't even cycle like 10 rounds.
Oof. It looks cool though.
No, it does look
It
cool,
looks cool.
but it's fucking stupid.
Topic of bandoliers and belts, what have you. This is more of a belt, but a lot of them are bandoliers you can buy. You know, cowboy action shooters use them a lot. Throughout all of history, bandoliers and cartridge belts of like all this type of sort of stuff, they're very commonly used. So before we had magazines, before we had anything like that, we'd have lever action rifles, bolt action rifles, and you'd have a bandolier. That's just something I wanted to add there because a lot of people say, oh, bandolier this, that. It's like, it's a piece of kit that's been essential for, oh man, at least 200 years. I mean, even like right up Civil War time, there was a lot of cartridge firing weapons like the Henry, stuff like that. Bandoliers and cartridge belts were starting to be implemented back then. So last video tried to do that with this bandolier. I put my powder flask and everything. Yes, a powder horn, it's kind of its own thing. It's similar to a bandolier, but I mean, even in like the Spanish with the matchlock, they had a bandolier with all their preloaded cartridge all the way on a string. If you watch any like old movie, you see the Spanish with their bandoliers, with their matchlock rifles or muskets. It's been a thing for hundreds of years. So the concept of a bandolier, very old.
All right, so another topic in bandoliers, and this is kind of a satchel carry, I guess you would call it. This is something that I use specifically for the gym. Now, that being said, I do not recommend carrying a suppressed 22. I would not say it's a good idea, especially because of how long this takes to deploy. I just think it's entertaining, and I think it's fun. And the possibilities behind a suppressed 22 and what you could do with them. That being said, usually with this, I would carry my everyday carry holster at an angle inside this. When I'm going to the gym, I can just be wearing sweatpants, throw on this satchel, and I'm ready to go. So in this front pouch, I have everything that I need to essentially have throughout the day. So I have wool gloves, I have a knife, I have chapstick, once again plugging my own stuff, but I have the micro pouch with spare ammunition, and then I have a gorilla mask in here as well. So, Micro, can I get you over here, please?
I'm just putting my shit on this.
Once again, I don't recommend this setup. I just think it's cool. So, unzip, pull out firearm, grab suppressor. All I have to do is just slightly get it on, and then what I can do is and I think that's really cool. Now, is that practical? Am I going to be, doing that in a really quick situation that I need rounds on target now and I'm quickly defending myself? Probably not. But if I wanted to look low pro and I was somewhere where I was going to do deliberate action, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Also, denim blue. Wearing blue is probably the most gray man thing that you can ever do. When it comes to gray man, and I realize I'm kind of going off on my own tangent now, but when it comes to gray man, people sperg the fuck out over it. Literally all a gray man is just an everyday dude. So if you're trying to blend into the populace while carrying a firearm, just continue what you were already doing. Like, don't stop wearing all this crazy tactical stuff. You don't need to go about wearing, you know, the grunt style I am the weapon shirt with a fucking multicam hat and, you know, army boots, and then obviously printing that you have a firearm on you. Just look like a dude. Don't litter.
That up there.
No, that'd work. Yeah. I usually put it over it. Really? See, you go under, right? And I go over. I honestly think it's like a personal preference kind of thing, because it really doesn't make a difference.
Does it really not? It looks weird.
It makes no difference.
You look like you're wearing a waist trainer. You look like...
Yeah, but like, okay, think about it, right? So you got mags here, okay? And then like...
Patreon viewers,
like a
you get
girdle.
to see this.
Well, so this is backed by Velcro, and then it's also clipped in. You know, I really do... I do think it's sad that Kane Gear went out of business. Rip Kane Gear.
You have to say it in the mic.
Oh. Rip Kane Gear. It's like they sent me this this whole plate carrier to fucking test out, and they went out of business. I'm like, am I one of the last guys that got sent one of these?
No!
You know, I'm gonna throw one on. You guys keep talking. I'm gonna throw one on.
So anyways, how about this weather?
It's very windy.
It's windy out.
Fucking windy. So when it comes to armor and urban kit, this is one that we don't really use that much, just because realistically we spend a lot more time in the mountains and we kind of live more in a greenish environment, not a concrete jungle. If that's what you do, if you live in an apartment building, if you live in the city, you might want to gear your kit more like this, where, you know, camouflage and moving fast might not be the most important thing. Just staying in place and like moving quietly without being seen in your concrete jungle might be a little bit better. It's really depends on what you're trying to do. If you have bug out plans, if you plan on hunkering down, which is probably a terrible idea in the city and you're probably going to die. But I don't know, a lot of people seem to think that's a good idea. Life worth that item.
What are you willing to die for?
What are you willing to die for? Now, obviously when it comes to tribe and family, that question is, yes, I'll just hold on to it. When it comes to tribe and family, what are you willing to die for? Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm going fucking balls to the wall, but when it comes to like an item getting stolen, it's like, do I really want to go through the court battle just because someone decided to steal my Cadillac converter? I don't know, maybe. No problem with confronting them, but dying over something like that, to me, is just not worth it. It's a free straight pipe if someone steals your Cadillac converter, honestly. It makes your car sound cool.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean...
Well, look, going into semantics, but if you're going to go out and confront someone, armor is still helpful because you don't know what the fuck they're going to do.
Armor is helpful, and it kind of, you know, just kind of, like you are standing right here, like, if you were to confront someone in your driveway or in your backyard, just like, hey, this is private property, I'm just going to have to ask you to leave. Be polite. If you ever watched the movie, Roadhouse.
Roadhouse!
Yeah, de-escalation, right? If you watch the movie Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze, what does he say? Be nice.
Be nice.
Be nice. If somebody insults your mom, be nice.
Someone tries to attack you, be nice.
Yeah, talk soft, but do carry a big stick and do know how to use it.
Now, personally, I like the plate carriers that have this elastic cummerbund. So, T-Rex Arms is not the only company that sells these. You can find elastic cummerbunds from a lot of companies online. What's really cool about the elastic cummerbund, as opposed to something like this, right? I'm gonna be honest, and I realize a lot of people out there might like this style with the tube fed. I absolutely hate it. It is a pain in the ass to adjust. Also, I've had these tubes break before on plate carriers, whereas when you have this elastic, right, there's nothing else that you have to add to it. You can put an extra magazine in here, you can put a radio in here, you can put tourniquets in here. The elastic cummerbunds, I think, are infinitely superior. Not only that, they're more comfortable, especially when you start running a backpack or you start running anything like that. So this plate carrier is a LBT. They are a little fancier. I actually won this. I would not pay for an LBT at all. The T-Rex Arms plate carrier, honestly, for the price that you're paying, if you're trying to get into a plate carrier, there's no reason to buy anything else. And I'm not even trying to shill T-Rex Arms, but their plate carrier is arguably top tier. The design is just perfect. So what's really cool about the TRX Arms plate carrier as well, as opposed to this, is I can take my chest rig. Go ahead and detach this right quick. I can take my chest rig from here. Now, I can do it on the LBT, but it's a little bit more of a pain in the dick hole to try and do it because there's no Velcro backer here. Yes, you could absolutely go out and buy a Velcro backer, but what's really cool about this setup, right, is that I can take my chest rig just the way it is with all the Velcro and whatnot, and I can just attach it to him, and then I could buckle this in, and there's nothing else that I would need on this. This is going to be very secure if it was actually buckled in, and you could run that like that. Now, would I run that like that? Probably not, honestly, but you can. Not only that, but oh, well, thank you. I need my hand warmer to keep my hands warm.
Hand warmer.
Blurp. Oops.
Jesus.
Not only that, but with this style of plate carriers as well, you see a lot of guys running these backpacks. So, running a small backpack like this, now I bought it from, because it was, oh God, what the hell, the flat pack medium or flat pack large, the one that Haley Strategic sells. So it's a cool design, it's a cool concept, right? I honestly think it's fucking pointless because if I ever need to throw a pack on over this, that is going to get very, very uncomfortable. And I can tell you from experience that it gets very uncomfortable. So running these small packs, you see a lot of guys in like Afghanistan, Iraq, special forces dudes, right? Running these little backpacks. And the thing that you have to think about is that those SF guys that are running the little mini backpacks, they have supply. They have resupply points. They're going out on fairly small missions, and they can live out of what's on their kit because they have resupply. Shit hits the fan, you're not going to have that resupply. Shit hits the fan, more than likely, the only time I'm going to put on a plate carrier is if I'm attacking or defending, and that's about it. Other than that, I'm probably not going to be in a plate carrier. But if you were want to wear a plate carrier, if you were want to ruck in, right, because of this being flat, you could throw a pack on over it and actually operate out of that. The small packs, once again, it's not that they're bad. You just have to understand that it's very mission specific. Unless you're planning on doing small micro missions, I would not recommend that sort of plate carrier. If you're just an everyday dude, if you're lower on money, buy a plate carrier just like this, and then the Hesco L210 plates. Those are level 3A. For what you're getting, that is best bang for your buck. So you want to fill through and feel if there's any cracks, if there's any dents, if there's anything wrong with this plate. Actually, if you buy any plate, that is the first thing that you should be doing, is actually checking if your plate feels correct. With that being said, no steel.
I was gonna go off on that when you
go
were done.
off on it. Send it.
So
Send it.
It might be very tempting if you are young, you have not that much money, you want to plate carrier. Oh, AR 500, they have their advertisements everywhere. Spartan Armor, they have their advertisements everywhere. Yes, it works, but especially when it comes to cheaper gear like that and steel plates, definitely the steel plates are a no-go. When it comes to the cheaper chest rigs, like I said before with the airsoft gear, sure, go ahead and send it with the plate carrier. See if it works for you, if that's even the type of gear you even want to actually spend a lot of money on. But as far as getting value out of your dollar, the TRX arms, just like the one I have here, it's gonna be the best. It's very comfortable. It has lots of nice padding in here. Very comfortable to use. I've sat in an OP actually for like 2 days straight wearing this for 2 days straight. Yeah, I had steel plates at the time and I was wearing those and it sucked. Especially those straight ones that don't actually curve and contour to your body. A lot of ceramics, a lot of that kind of stuff are gonna feel so much better just having on for a long period of time. But for training purposes, steel plates could work for you. If you really wanted to make it suck and you ended up buying steel plates, don't throw away your steel plates because you could use those for training. They absolutely suck. And that's the great part about training is the more sucky your training is, the little less sucky actual, shits the fan's gonna be. So that's just something to consider, where you're putting your money and where you want to be. Look at where you want to be and start slowly getting up to that point. That's all I got on that.
So another thing when it comes to plate carriers, when it comes to a lot of this gear, I highly recommend airsoft for getting a feel for your gear, for actually using it. Hell, with these exact plate carriers, me and Huck have gone on runs.
Yep.
And these are so damn comfortable. And once again, it feels like I'm shilling. But Micro, come here real quick. So once again, this is a Kine Gear plate carrier. Does the exact same thing this does. If anything, when these first came out, they were actually a better deal than this was. Because I want to say it was actually cheaper. Now, once again, rip Kine Gear. But when this plate carrier first came out, you're getting the whole placard, you're getting inserts. They had, it was crazy. They had 5.56 inserts and 7.62 inserts. Comes with a dangler, the cummerbund, and then I want to say there was some other like shoulder inserts as well. Of elastic cummerbunds, I would say, at least personal preference, are so much superior. I have, especially in the military, man, I struggled so much with all the molly gear, and as far as chest rig or plate carriers go, I'm so over molly. I really am. It's a pain in the ass. You guys ever seen those militia dudes?
Which ones? There's a lot of
No,
those
but like the militia guys that will have like everything's molly and like it's not actually like cinched down and everything's just kind of like
a
you know what I'm talking about?
Like a 3%er type?
Yeah, like the
Quite,
3%er
and it's
dudes.
a funny idea.
I mean, I had a lot of exposure, like watching YouTube videos and stuff and learning from those type of guys, but yeah, I kind of know what you're talking about. It's just all loosey-goosey. Yeah.
That's another thing with this style, these styles of plate carriers, is everything's tight. So if I need to run, if I need to sprint, if I need to dive into cover, everything's actually on my body. Everything is tight up in here. So you lost your mic. With molly gear, you're never going to get as tight as your elastic and Velcro. Now, yes, Velcro is significantly louder, but that being said, people kind of go a little too autistic when it comes to the loudness of your gear. It's really not that loud, guys. If you're watching this and you're spurging out over that giving away your position, like you haven't sat in an OP very long, because there's a lot of other things that are going to give away your position before that does. There's so many things that give away your position.
Oh yeah.
Like smell.
Smell, cigarette smoke, cooking food, stuff like that.
Yep. MREs.
MREs.
Dude, MREs are huge. So if you've ever sat in, and I realize this has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Tangents.
Schitzo tangent, go.
It's important.
MREs are probably one of the worst things that you could actually have in an OP, specifically the heaters. But if you're sitting in an OP, and it's a bunch of guys that have been in that terrain, eating food from that area, you are going to smell that MRE from so far away. It is incredible how much your senses heighten to simple things like that. And MREs are just, and then the farts.
Oh, especially, dude, when it comes like after the first day, and it's just like everyone's got a shit.
Yep.
We've been holding it in for a day. Day 2 comes around.
The last OP that we did, we issued out MREs to everyone. I have to shit so bad.
But going away from this a little bit, you were mentioning.
He's got one.
Oh, he's got it. Okay.
I'm the one without a mic.
You mentioned airsoft for training your kit and finding out what works.
Yeah.
You don't have to make like a hyper tactical airsoft. You don't have to go to Milsim West and spend $400 on a ticket.
Good point.
Go into your woods with your buddies and just play.
Yes.
You don't have to run actual tactics. You don't have to do anything serious. Literally, just wear your kit, do magazines, go through the mud, don't get shot at.
That's actually a
That's
really
it.
good point. Is think up games. Like, training can be fun.
Yes.
And especially training in armor, right? Getting to know your kit, it can be enjoyable. So one thing that we've actually found that we've gotten some really good training out of, and I realize technically it's not realistic, but just King of the Hill.
Oh yeah.
Right?
That's a fun one.
And like you get some really good training out of it, of actually trying to bound, trying to use cover, of one team has to have their hands on a certain objective, and then the other team is just trying to get that objective, and they have to hold that objective for 5 minutes. One person has to have their hand on, so you could say a car. The last time we used just like a
car, you just shoot the windows out.
fuck the windows. Last time we used a huge brush pile that was out in the middle of nowhere from loggers, and we're using bits and pieces of that brush pile for cover, and that's another thing. Cover and concealment are different.
Yeah,
Even with airsoft, cover and
forget
concealment.
with airsoft.
Yeah.
Keep it in mind every single time you're like, okay, is this cover or is this concealment?
There are bad habits that can come from airsoft.
Yes.
It is possible, but as long as you keep in, you can play a game and keep in a tactical mindset, and it's a lot of fun.
Yes. I'm gonna steal your microphone.
Oh, gun game too.
Gun game.
God, gun game.
I'm just gonna hold this microphone like a weirdo. Yeah. So my first real exposure to training was watching YouTube videos, like the old tactical response James Yeager.
I should go around him.
Watching his his training videos. Just Brent0331. Great guys on YouTube. Go check them out. They do a lot of cool stuff, and there's so many I could name forever. YouTube channels. They have a lot of cool bounding techniques and stuff like that. They have different SOPs than us. Everyone kind of does their own thing, but just kind of look at what other people are doing. Look at what other people are putting out there, and then grab your buddies some airsoft rifles. Hell, you could even use Nerf guns. It doesn't matter. I used to do bounding techniques in the backyard with my friends when I was I was like junior high when I did this. We would grab a couple airsoft guns, pellet rifles, even Nerf guns, water guns, and do bounding techniques, leapfrogging techniques, all that kind of stuff. Just shooting, moving, communicating. It was a lot of fun, and it gave us all a good basis on how to bound and how to, safely maneuver around each other, keeping our muzzles in a great, safe place. Whether you're going muzzle down, muzzle up, really depends on what you're doing. All that kind of stuff, just being aware, muzzle awareness, just being smart about it, and taking the time to say, okay, is what we're doing right now effective? Can we streamline this? Can we make it better? So many things you can learn just from going out in the backyard with your friends, or going out in the mountains with your friends. That's basically all we ever do. That's our training. We do a lot of training. We go to a lot of different classes, but more of it is just ingraining it into our heads on how we're doing everything. That's why airsoft's important. Airsoft is very important. Dry fire is very important. All these things.
Can I go off on a tangent?
Yeah.
What you just said right quick?
I was done, and I didn't know how to stop talking, so I was just continuing to talk.
So going off of training classes, something that we do is we will send one guy to a class. So an actual paid professional class on whatever topic we are, wanting to learn more about. And then that guy will just take an unnecessary amount of notes, come back, and then it's his job to compile his own class and then reteach that to us.
Yes.
And if you have a training group, if you have a group of friends, right, and you guys are all a little lower on money, YouTube, and then sending people to classes, or even paying one instructor to come in and teach all of you guys that. We've also done that as well.
Oh, yeah.
We had that LR class recently.
Yep.
So paying one instructor to come out and to teach you guys instead of all you guys going to him, and usually most instructors will give you guys give a really good bulk deal, and everyone winds up spending a hell of a lot less money, and you can have that opportunity to get hands-on. From that, I wanted to go back into gear for a second. I do not like wearing a medical dangler with a plate carrier. It's a personal preference, just because of the way that it sits. This is an option. I don't like this option personally, just because sitting in a vehicle is very, very uncomfortable. I run a fanny pack for medical. And the cool thing about running a fanny pack for medical, the same as running a bandolier, is that if I'm running, if I'm sprinting, what have you, I can just do this and it's out of my way. If I need to get my medical, all I have to do is, and now I have it in my hands. That's one thing when it comes to medical is, you know, being able to actually access your medical equipment, have some way that you can actually get to it easily. That's actually one thing that I need to upgrade with my chest rig currently. And we're actually, one of our guys that sews is going to be fixing that problem, and we're actually going to be selling our own medical danglers here soon as well, which I am probably more excited about than I should be. But not only this, but I also dipped into it a little bit more. One second, do something stupid for a second. All right, so I also got another medical dangler, or not medical dangler, but Helicon Text fanny pack in denim blue. Once again, I really like denim blue. I think it blends in fantastic. So what I was trying out for a little while, and I personally didn't wind up liking it. We have guys that do run this, of having little clips, and then you can just clip it in to your existing belt. Kojin runs just like this. He has a significantly fancier medical. I forget the name of the company that he
I don't
runs.
know, dude. It is Gucci.
Yeah, his is like really, really Gucci.
It's
I'm
nice.
not hating on it.
I want one.
I really like Helicon Text, but his is a lot nicer. But so he has this set up that he can just attach it onto his ruck. So while he's rucking, he has all of his medical right there, and he can just clip it off. But yeah, having medical that you can actually detach. We've had a couple real-world medical emergencies now, and being able to actually get hands on your medical is very important. Plate carriers, once again, shit hits the fan. If I have to move distance, you know, let's say my location is no longer good. Wherever I live, I can't stay there for whatever reason. And I now have to move from there to, let's say, my in-laws, right? Let's say they're 30 miles away, gridlock, you're not getting a vehicle anywhere. I'm probably not going to take a plate carrier. I'm probably going to opt to either take more ammunition, more food for my children, more water, more medical supplies. There's so many other things besides a plate carrier that you might want to have instead of.
Very situationally dependent. Your gear is going to be very dependent on your personal needs. Take, for example, the 1995 Ford Air Star XLT all-wheel drive minivan.
Beautiful van.
This vehicle, that tripod almost fell over. Fuck you, wind. Like my van. Oh, fuck. Yours gonna be very situationally dependent on your needs, what you're trying to accomplish, and also who you're trying to defend. Because to preserve life, our tribe's life, our family's life, our loved ones' lives, the end goal of all of this, at least for us, is to preserve that and make sure we're all squared away. We all can work together and defend each other from whatever tyrannical or crackhead forces come to us to cause problems. That's really all we're doing. And most people are pretty much doing the same thing along those lines. So depending on your area of operation, gears can be very dependent. Also monkey. A 1995 Ford Sierra XLT minivan.
If you don't like monkeys with a 1995 Ford Aerostar minivan, fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
It's like a Ford Ranger, but with extra steps. Yeah, and watch what I can do.
Watch what he can do. Look at that. Look at what he can do. And he dropped it. Do you think it's a good time for an ADHD break? $22 conversion kits.
I don't know if I get too close here. Does that look good, cameraman?
Hold on. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Let's see, let's start from the middle and just work our way around clockwise. I have here this D-ring attachment. I have some really cheap gloves. These are just some shop gloves. They work. I just cut a hole in them. I mean, gloves are a consumable. Replace them all the time. Going around front here.
Micro, clear your mic.
You're just making a lot of noise, Micro. Micro, you're ruining my thing, Micro. Micro, what's wrong with you, Micro? Just turn it off.
I'm done.
Turn off your mic, dipshit.
There, you're good.
Okay, come around front here to the right, my right. I have right here just simple little buck knife, nothing fancy. This is a gift from my grandpa before he died, so this is kind of cool. And moving on, of course, holster. This is the Safari Land. It has this quick detach here, so I could take it off this and put it on just any other kit I want to, which is a really great feature. That makes it nice. Also, having some sort of retention on your holster there is a very good idea. Yeah, last medical, one of our guys didn't have any retention on his holster there. Gun fell out during a drill where he wasn't even using his gun, so cool. Moving around back here, there's a lot of empty space. I might add some more stuff here. Medical pouch. I have the TQ on the exterior here. There's also another TQ inside of there. More gauze, compression bandages, stuff like that. Around here, got a dump pouch, and I just have a random magazine of the dump pouch, just because. Who knows?
Okay, so I just want to emphasize once again what I was talking about earlier with medical is that this is a rip away. So
Make it easier to use. I have two rifle mag pouches here. They're different types and at different heights. 30 rounder right here, and right here's a 20 rounder. Yeah, I know for an urban kit, why a 20 rounder? It fits better. This being so close right here on my plate carrier gives me a little bit more room to, you know, get my knee up. Whereas if I had them swapped like that, it kind of constricts a little more. It goes right into my rib cage right here. Not the best feeling in the world, but always having a 20 rounder accessible is great, just in case you need to go prone, just in case you need to make those shots low to the ground. 20 rounders are pretty good. Whoop. Moving up here, simple Glock mag right here. And that is Huck's belt.
hi, welcome to today's ADHD break. We're going to be talking about belts. So for the longest time, I was running this high-speed gear belt. I'll edit a picture of it now. I liked this for a while. I ran this for a while. It was good for urban. However, the issue was it's so large and so bulky that it was restricting my hips, and it was making movement just unnecessarily not fun. One huge thing with belts is that it restricts your movement, it restricts your hips, and the larger belt you have, yes, it is going to be more comfortable, but you are going to restrict your movement a lot more. Everything that I carry on my belt, I can keep in this dump pouch. So I'm running a Shepherd defensive belt. I really enjoy them. That is why I sell them. And everything I run on my belt, I literally just attach directly to. Attach everything that I need on this belt. I've rucked with this belt exactly how I have this set up. It's more minimalist. One thing that I've learned with training more and more is that less is more. If you can operate with less, then overall you're going to be faster, you're going to have more energy, and you're just going to have a better time. These days, I really don't like having a whole lot on my belt because it restricts my hips. So if there's other things that I need, I'll keep it in a pack, I'll keep it in a chest rig, what have you. So literally, usually I have gloves on, and these are just a backup. One pistol mag, one rifle mag, a multi-tool. So I actually keep a multi-tool right here, so it's easily accessible at all times. And then I keep one on my chest rig as well. Sometimes one is none and two is one, if that makes sense. Multi-tools and knives are things that I have multiple of just in case. Dump pouch. I cannot begin to express how important having a dump pouch is. even on every day, you want to retain all of your magazines. You want to retain your extra shit. I don't know how many times overall, scouting, backpacking, camping, what have you, even if I'm wearing, full civilian attire and I'm just out with my wife, I still have a dump pouch because it's so useful to just keep a water bottle in there, or a spare pair of gloves, or another microphone because you forgot to hand yours off, or what have you. And then I'll have my holster, which, like Huck was saying, is a Safariland QLS system. So this holster is the 6360. I really like this because not only can I run my Glock 19 in here, but I can also run my 22 as well.
Oh, we went over lots of different gear of ours that we use and we train with on a regular basis. Some more than others, but nevertheless, it is gear that we use. Just main things we want you to take away from this video is think about what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Do your research and find gear that's going to help you accomplish your goals. Just like with weapons, gear is the same. It's a supplement. It's not the end all be all. Just find what works best for you. There's a lot of different options out there, a lot of different paths you can take. It just depends on what you need and what's going to work for you.
Actually, off of that, so I already know from our last video, there is going to be reeing.
Oh, absolutely.
There is going to be an unnecessary amount of reeing. If you
Insane.
got this far into the video, understand that all of this, everything that we've just said, is shooter's preference. It's what's worked for us, and even what we're currently using is probably going to be upgraded upon. This is what's working for us now.
Yeah.
This is where we are in the stage of our training, and it's what's worked for us, and we're just trying to give you guys a couple helpful tips of what's worked for us. As of right now, hell, you might be farther than we are in certain places. Certain pieces of kit that you might have years and years and years of experience with, and we've just flirted with a few things, and it's like, oh, hey, this works so far. Right?
Yes.
There's a lot of pieces of kit that I had, and I ran for a while until I did one specific thing, and I was like, wow, that does not fucking work.
Yeah.
There's a few and that's another reason I love airsoft, and I'm gonna preach this again. Airsoft is great for the force-on-force training and just getting familiarization with your equipment. There's a lot of things that I changed because of airsoft that I actually got better training force on force with airsoft than I did in the United States military.
Yes. That being said too, going and taking classes and training with different people is going to give you different perspectives on how other people solve problems. A lot of people have their own ideas on how they do it. It's good to just kind of pick everyone's mind and actually see why somebody believes something. If this instructor over here has this way of doing it, for so long, he did it forever, maybe there's a reason. Maybe you can figure out what that reason is and learn from it and go, well, that doesn't really apply to me, and do your own thing. So there's always everyone does something different. Find what works for you and find why things work for other people. Don't just read about it. Actually try to find out why it is somebody does something instead of just getting all crazy about it. That's something I had to learn a lot of. This way or the highway. Well, no, other people have different experiences and have done different things in different types of environment. It all depends on your situation, what you're trying to accomplish.
Republican versus Democrat mindset.
Republican versus Democrat. This or the other thing. It's not just black and white. Everything's a gray area. When it comes to gear and training, it just really depends on you and what you need. What it is that's going to work for you and how you're going to make it work for you, maximize your effectiveness.
Just doing closing remarks.
Michael, what do you got? Give us some wisdom. Your young poor ass.
It doesn't matter if you have $10,000 worth of kit. If you don't train, you may get clapped by a 19-year-old with a 100-year-old Mosin and a fucking dump pouch full of 54R. Go out and train. Do what you need. Figure it the fuck out.
The first thing I thought was ashes.
Dude,
you don't have 30 spam cans of 54.
well, he bought like a $200 Mosin gun. I mean, it was the milled receiver.
Spends 20 grand
Yeah.
on ammo for training.
It was a decent Mosin too. I've shot it quite a bit. I like it.
I'm not hating on it. I honestly love it.
Yeah.
So honestly, from the last video, talking specifically about this rifle, right? Here, I'm gonna take this. talking specifically about this rifle, I would rather have a guy in my group that buys a budget build and then just trains the hell out of it, right? Like, this dude is retarded when it comes to cardio, right? Fastest guy we have. And I would rather take someone like this in a fight without night vision than a dude that has, you know, $200,000 in daddy's money for kit and doesn't know dick for shit of how to use it.
Yeah.
Cardio, tactics, and just an overall understanding of the land, an overall understanding of cover, concealment, and being quiet. You know, I mean,
Being quiet.
hell, even sometimes, I forget which YouTuber it was, but just avoiding scenarios, avoidance of you know, like, because that's the biggest thing, right?
Yeah.
With all this, we're trying to stay alive. I'm not looking for trouble.
We don't want to find a fight.
Yeah, no,
we want to stay away from that.
Exactly. I'm trying to avoid a fight as much as possible. So being quiet and being fast.
Yes.
So yeah, do cardio. You're gonna fucking die.
Yeah. Good cardio.
You might not though. You might get fat and just sit in your house.
Well, I
Body
mean,
eat away at your lard.
if McDonald's are still around for your whole lifetime, I mean, what are you worried about? You can just sit there and eat your McDonald's, watch your sports ball.
Yeah,
'cause
just
that's-
sit your
ever
ass down and eat your fucking McDonald's, you fat fuck.
Don't eat soy. Oh, on that we were talking about MREs. MREs are terrible for you. They are packed with soy.
Oh my god,
I forgot to mention that.
So bad for
Dude,
you.
MREs are anything with soy. Now this has turned into a soy video. It's
You
no
know
longer
what?
a gear
When
video.
You were talking about how you were growing up, right? You
Yeah.
were pissed off how much soy you were given as a
All of
kid.
the soy as a kid. Yep.
Dude, looking back on it, how many fucking MREs I've eaten. It's like, hold on. So you want your warriors
Weak.
to be as weak as possible?
Yeah.
It's like I don't.
Yeah,
Like, I realize
absolutely.
the military has become very weak, and this has nothing to do with what we're
I
talking
wonder
about.
why.
Yeah. Patreons are saying this. No, for real though. All jokes aside, if you like what we're doing, if you like this content, help us out. Hit up the website. Hit up the Patreon. That just helps us get out here in the mountains in this horrible weather and do this shit more. So you know, it's a trade deal. You give me money, I give you product, you get content.
Wait, you guys are getting paid?
Trade offer. You guys are getting paid.
Trade offer. You give us money, we can eat.
I like food.
Food is nice.
Yeah. I do like the humans person's foods as well.
Humans, persons. All right.
I'm gonna go eat a stick now.
This has been great. It's been a fun video, but we are cold.
Oh yeah.
This wind chill is insane. I don't even. It was supposed to be in the high 30s today, but this wind chill is. I think we're probably in the teens.
Yeah,
or
we're
20s.
tickling the low end of the 20s
Yeah.
for sure.
We got some flurries of snow earlier, but
yeah.
that's just me being a pussy.
We go out in snowshoe, spend a couple days in the snow at a time sometimes, you know, whatever we're doing. It's too cold. We've been out here for 2 hours.
Usually we're moving around a lot more. We have more snivel gear on.
Yeah.
We're out here in hoodies.
Yeah, just hoodies and just...
Anyway, this has been a fun one. Hope you guys enjoyed the Schitzo rant. Yeah, ATS, go outside and train. Family and tribe.
Eat liver.
Eat more liver and red onions.
Stay natty. Don't do what the Liver King did.
Yeah, don't do steroids.
Yeah, don't do steroids. They're bad.
What's up?
Well, for one, we were out of frame the entire video.
I know.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh,